Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me. Hope you're having an amazing day. We're going to take a look at Solana, see what's going on. I got a lot of requests on this one recently. I can totally see why, and it does look like it might break out here, of course, or already has, honestly. So let's take a look. First of all, if you are not new to the channel, or if you are new to the channel, consider joining, of course. CryptoCache.tech is a website. Just know I have a trading community and an academy where I teach you how to become a better trader, and of course, send out signals for every single trade that I take so you can follow along and structure your trades effectively. We've been extremely profitable recently, hitting a lot of nice leverage plays, and of course, spot trading as well. And just generally speaking, it's been an awesome environment, and looking forward to getting to know you better if you decide to do that. Take a look here at Solana, though. Here's the big picture. Let's go ahead and start with the big picture, right? So first of all, as far as moving averages are concerned, we just broke above that today. I think we might have got a close yesterday, barely above, yes, and then a test again today. So really good stuff there in that sense. We like to see the 50-day SMA break above, and this, you see this happen a lot with a lot of coins right now. In fact, Axie just did the same thing just before it broke out, and it's taken off, right? And what it did is it broke its descending trend line here that is concurrent with the 50-day set moving average, as you can see, right? And then, of course, it broke above the 50-day SMA and had a continuation from there. So am I telling you based on this simple data alone that Solana will take off soon? Yeah, that's totally what I'm saying based on, again, momentum plays, right? There's no guarantees, but there are some strong likelihoods that it will continue to progress higher, right? So let me just go ahead and put this up here as well. Generally speaking, because when it comes to trend lines, they continue to happen until they don't, right? So what you do is you kind of anticipate the fact that, hey, think about this. I mean, the price has continued down ever since. Lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. This is that change in play here. As soon as we break this most recent high, we're going to be off to the races, okay? And it's testing it right now. So I would say now, if not an hour or two ago, it's probably a good time to get in. I feel like $100 is probably a strong likelihood of a good investment based on what I see here so far with the overall trend. Again, most momentum plays are based off trend lines, not really specific indicators. That's just my personal opinion. Again, breakout, trend line plays, etc. They happen, right? And they tend to occur, of course, when we have a consistency in the market. So you got to understand, I'm expecting a similar play, a similar ascending type of breakout from Bitcoin here soon. And that's going to allow for that to be a catalyst for a lot of other coins like this. Solana needs Bitcoin to do well, but doesn't need it to do great, if that makes any sense, because Solana is technically outperforming Bitcoin in the recent past. Let's go ahead and touch on something here. Where we hit a 9 on TD sequential. I don't want you to worry about that. We have the same exact behavior from Bitcoin. Strong consolidation at resistance here, roughly about $92. Pull back and a push up. So we should expect Solana to continue. Again, it may not break out as hard as Axie did, but I think that once we get above 100, which is likely candidate here today, once again, the candlestick hasn't closed yet, so we can't guarantee that. If we get a close above $100, or I guess if you kind of look at the recent time, 101, then we're going to be in really good shape to see the price continue higher from here. Solana's exuding some good qualities here in that sense. I think we got to celebrate that. Once again, we're a little premature, but also not. You have to kind of get in early when it comes to these breakout plays. And just, thinking about this last 5% here or whatever, you didn't miss out too much by that, okay? I still think $100 is still a very good value here for Solana in the overall sense of what it should and could be again, okay? All right, so that being said, that's kind of where we're at there. The 50 SMA is working good. Let's go ahead and take a look at the RSI. Nice clean bounce off of 50. Perfect. That's exactly what we want. Just bear in mind we could see resistance at 70, which is synonymous in a lot of ways with 107 and or 114. So I would say that at this point, expect some resistance here in the next $6, but until we get above 106, we might see 70 on the RSI hold as a resistance. Again, depends on how fast that break is or how hard the push is. We're above both moving averages here on the 4-hour. Not a big deal, a better deal than being the other way around. But they're far enough away to not really concern ourselves with it. Oh, one thing to touch on though, and this is the cool thing. Look at how this 50-day SMA works its way up this trend line now. You always want to pay attention to the 50-day SMA on the 4-hour and how it holds as a potential support level when it comes to upward trend lines, or at least momentum plays. Bitcoin's doing the same thing where we got the 50-day SMAs kind of holding its price action in place, and that kind of reaffirms and reiterates the fact that the price is moving the direction you want to hit. We're on the right side of the tracks, the bulls are in control, right? You never try to hedge your bets against the winning team, right? You always want to go with the winning team here. In this case, the bulls are winning. Keep this in mind though, RSI is a bit overextended on the 4-hour. I'm willing to guess we're at an 8 here. which is synonymous with Bitcoin once again. So check out my Bitcoin video if you want an understanding of, how most other coins are going to be behaving right now. We are at this exhaustive state on Bitcoin as well. It's not over exhausted, but it is kind of hitting this point where we could expect a little bit of a pullback soon. I think it'd be naive to anticipate the price to continue to go up much higher from here. Again, that does happen. Cryptocurrency will surprise the hell out of you, but in general, we shouldn't expect much further continuation. Best case scenario, consolidation at 100 and then a leg up, which is actually ideal because a lot of times you want the price to come up, past key level resistance, consolidate at this new support, previous resistance, and then increase from there. So I think this is the calm before the storm. Investing around $100 here would probably be a good play. Again, overextended, but it should relax and contract within the next 24 hours. So if you can get a price point in the $95 to $100 range, then I think that'd be advantageous here. It doesn't look like it wants to isn't showing any signs it wants to slow down. That's kind of what I'm getting at here. Keep this in mind though. Again, exhausted. We hit a 9 on TD sequential here again. We got to acknowledge the fact that we've had a strong momentous push from a 1 to a 9 there, 1 to a 6, 1 to a 7. There's been a lot of pushes here. So again, momentum plays are all well and good. They'll continue to honor trend lines, but you got to understand it could very well consolidate for the next couple of days. There's nothing wrong with that. If it closes back to 95, fantastic. So what I would recommend considering, based on the most recent high being right in about the $94 range, set a stop loss or trading stop loss at around 93, or maybe just say 92 to be safe. That way you have enough flexibility there. Heaven forbid, yes, you get stopped out at a 10% loss. If you lose, if it starts making lower lows, then of course it's going to move down anyway. So there's nothing wrong with setting a stop loss at a place in which the most recent low had occurred. That's usually what I like to do. Anyways, that being said, it is overextended. Expect a slight pullback and or continuation. So my anticipation here would be to put some skin in the game, maybe get a 50% entry, roughly close to the $100, and then maybe have a second entry about 95. Heaven forbid you miss that second entry, the price comes down and up, you're good. If it comes sideways and up, you're good. If it comes straight down, you're still good because the likelihood of it pulling back up is higher because Bitcoin's doing well, and we shouldn't expect Bitcoin to come sub 40,000 in the near future. It should probably continue to progress upwards with this trend line, again, until that's broken. All right, please check out that other Bitcoin video so you know what I'm talking about there. It's imperative that you know what Bitcoin does at all times because that is essentially the catalyst for most movement here. But know this, the catalyst for this specific breakout, which is soon to occur, is because the fact that it broke its downward trend line, is now working an upward trend line. It's trying to establish a higher high. And once we do, then and at that point, we'll see a continuation. If we get stopped out today, just say, for example, the price doesn't close above 100, then we could expect some sideways action between 95 and 100, and then a push up from there. I feel the likelihood of a pullback from Solana is very low for a few reasons. The volume profile is obviously very strong just below the current price point. So worst case scenario, we're going to see $90 as the worst case. So if you want to be very liberal on your trade, consider stop loss at just say 89, just below that key level volume support. Heaven forbid the price were to come back down, you add your position, dollar cost average, you don't get stopped out because of a little pullback. Okay? Or use a trailing stop moving target 2 that moves up with your adjustment. So after you hit target 2, it adjusts instead of target 1. All right, something to consider. But that is generally what we're looking at here. Solana's looking very nice, and I think is definitely primed and ready to go. It is overextended on the short term, so you want to understand 1 hour, 4 hour, we're going to see a pullback in the next 12 hours. It may not be significant, but it'll at least consolidate at support. And we got to see, first of all, close above 100 today would be imperative. We want to see a close above 100. That's important. Great start, but it is technically trying to make a higher high now. That's a good start. All right, so all good stuff there in that sense. Solana looks great. I think we should keep an eye on this one. I'll make sure to do some additional TI on this one here in the near future. Thanks again for watching. If you're not currently a community member, consider joining. CryptoCache.tech is the site. Link in the description below. I'll help you become a better trader with my trading academy, and all the signals that I send. We've been extremely profitable recently, and I can tell you that, well, we take profits all the time. It's just easier to take more profits when Bitcoin has some stability, right? And we're almost there for a nice clean break above 46 for Bitcoin. We'll be in bull market town from there. Looking forward to it. I look forward to seeing you on the other side. Hope you have a good rest of your day. Thanks for your time. Take care.